Hey, this is Chu with Electro Freeze Southeast, and today I'm going to show you how to assemble your GES5099 pump assemblies. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and talk about how the Electro Freeze mix transfer systems function, and then we're going to go ahead and assemble everything together. Alright, so this whole mess looks like a mess, but we're going to go ahead and break it down and give you a better understanding of what you're dealing with, okay? So Electro Freeze transfer systems use a roller system on a peristaltic tube. That just means basically it's a bouncy tube, and when you pinch it and roll on it, it creates a suction. So that's what happens right here. As your rollers roll, we roll on this tube and create a suction on this side to come out this side to go up into your cylinders. All right, so if you want the quick breakdown, it's something like this. You're gonna have a bucket. You're gonna have essentially a flexible crazy straw at one end. And as this is rolling, that's it. There we go. And as this is rolling against this stuff right here, it's going to create a suction on this side to bring your mix in. And then we have our air meters right here. So basically the mix and the air are being sucked in at a certain ratio and meets here at the manifold. The air ratio here is determined by whatever meter you put. I think currently on this one we have a 14, but you could always change that. So basically the air in your mix will meet at the manifold and get sucked in through this tube, and it'll shoot it out of here and into this guy right here. And then it'll shoot from here up into your cylinder where your pilot needs to be. All right, and then the other add-ons is pretty much you may have a mixed flow system similar to this where it plugs into the manifold, or you may even have an option for a old school cord that goes down into your bucket. So there are different variations available, and they're all similar but different. All right, so under this B knowledge, we're gonna go ahead and put everything together on this side and just run through everything. All right, everybody, now that we've gone through the basic function of our mix transfer pumps, we're going to go ahead and assemble the left side pump of this GES5099. All right, I'd like to start with the manifold. The job of the manifold is where everything kind of meets together, so I'd like to start with this part and work my way out. You have your two prongs for your mixed flow system. You may have a different system with a cable that goes into your tub, but this one we have the prongs right here for mixed flow. We have a small, medium, and large port here. Your small one is going to be for your air meter. This one's going to be for your suction side, the crazy straw that sucks up the stuff from your tub or from a bag system. And then this will connect to your pump hose, which formerly known as red line hose is now a gray line hose. And that goes on this one, okay? So we're going to start with putting on the air meter. There we go. Make sure it's tight. You don't want it leaking and sucking in more air than it should. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our pump hose, and we're going to go ahead and get that on here like this. Okay, we're going to get past that little lip. We're going to do our clamp and go ahead and snug it up. Remember, this is a plastic manifold. Don't death grip it. Just tight enough where it won't go and rip anything, okay? Like that. Now we're going to go ahead and put this in this knot. So what you're looking for with this is the manifold or the suction coming in is always lined up with the smaller swing arm, okay? This is usually where this will be positioned for rollers to create pressure for the pump, all right? So if you're used to like an older model, like a 30T RMT, they may be both facing to the left, which means you would put it on the left. The GES models, it may be mirrored, so make sure you're putting on the right side or your pump will be running backwards. So you'll be like, why is it not working? And that's probably why. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put the manifold and assembly stuff right here. There's our little notch to hold it in place. This is the short arm right here. And I'll mount this air tube to this holder right here, up top. And then the next thing we're gonna put on is gonna be our mixed flow sensor. like I said before, this is the 2-prong style on the manifold, and there are other styles out there with an actual physical line that can fit in your tub, but this one is just this. We're going to go ahead, put that up, connect it up there. There we go. Okay. And now that we have this manifold mostly assembled on here, we're going to go ahead and connect the last one. This is your suction side, okay? This is the crazy straw that goes in your tub or to a guide system that sucks your mix up and into your cylinders. So to start with that, we have this clear hose. So we're going to go ahead and loosen the clamp, get it on and tighten it up. Remember, this is the suction side, so you don't need crazy pressure. So you shouldn't be destroying this, but you know, this is the suction side. All right, now with straw, and we'll go ahead and put the metal straw. This is what actually goes into the hole on the lid through to suck up your mix. Go ahead and put that in right there. I'm gonna put the type on to tighten it on. All right, and then we're gonna have this little boot we're gonna put on this. What the boot does is when you're putting it into the tub lid, it helps seal out getting moisture and stuff and drip it in there, okay? And finally in the suction side, you have your duck bill. Whack, whack. All right. What this does is when you pop it in here, it creates like a one-way valve. That way, when your machines are pumping and not running, you're gonna have mix maintained in the tube, which allows the mix load to read what's going on in there. And it also prevents from excess air coming in every time the mix goes out when this isn't here, and then pulling in extra air every time it kicks back up, okay? So we have the suction side ready, and I'm gonna play here for now. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and assemble the pressurized side. Pressurized side is basically anytime it goes past these rollers on the other half, it's gonna be under pressure, and it's gonna be pushing it into this tube, into the cylinder, all right? So to start assembling, we're gonna go ahead and take a braided line. The braided line signifies it's a stronger line and it's for being under pressure. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put this elbow in here. When you do this, I like to move that clamp higher on the hose, because once you put everything in, it's gonna be a little tight, okay? So I'm gonna put this in. This is now on. So here is the slightly tricky part, okay? When we wrap this pump hose, the red line hose, gray line hose, around this assembly here, we wanna make sure that it is centered. We don't want it to be at the edge or the behind, because that'll choke up the pump and it'll seize and not roll. So make sure it's centered when you have everything tightened up. Then tighten up, you're basically gonna put this section right here into this notch, and it'll kind of hold like a U position right here and here, okay? Real quick, anything that rolls and rolls, we're gonna make sure to put the lubrication on there to help the rollers out a little bit. There we go. And from there, we're gonna go ahead and use this as leverage to position this into the notch here. So what I'm gonna do is I'll center this and pull up till it notches in here and here. See how it's holding? Make sure this is centered. Awesome. All right, from here, we're gonna go ahead and connect this pipe to here, which will send it to the top. So same thing, undo your clamp, put it over the lip, and go ahead and tap that down. All right, final step from here is to basically close the arms and just put everything back together. But here are things to look for. You need these guys to be free spinning, like free swinging, okay? Very important, because as the pump goes, you're gonna get a little play that makes it go like that, and that helps out with the pump. And the spring in this whole assembly helps with that, okay? If these are not swinging, go ahead and use your O-ring remover tool, hook it up on the ring, and pull, and you should be able to get this little O-ring out, and the arm slides right out. From here, if you do any cleaning on both arms you need to do, put it back in and make sure it's swinging. All right, over and back on. There we go. If everything is nice and free swinging, we're gonna go ahead and put it all together. We're gonna come up like that. We're gonna slide this thing in to click under. Just because it clicks on doesn't mean it's in the proper position. The proper position is to turn this knob until you hit a solid stop. If you don't do this part correctly, you may experience backflow, where the pressure on the top was flowing back into your tub, and your pump will run and run, probably throw you an error. All right, so now we boom, stop right there. Awesome. From here on, we're gonna go ahead and put on the safety cover lid. If you do not put this on, the pump will not run, okay? You may see variations of a metal one, maybe a metal cage, and a plastic one like this, but they all serve the same purpose. There's a safety mechanism here that has to go on and activate for the pump to turn on, okay? So you do need this to function. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and put it on, nozzle in the hole, put this on, tighten it in place. Alrighty, now we have everything connected. We're gonna go ahead and do the same on the other side. I have everything kind of assembled linear already, so we're gonna just blow through that real quick, all right? Alrighty, now both our pumps are assembled, and we're gonna complete the assembly with the buckets and lids. All right, now everything's assembled and we're ready to go ahead and sanitize, purge, and prime your 5099. Hopefully this video is helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.